As I have said before, my name is Melissa Savage. I'm a senior management analyst with the Bureau of Contract Administration. This is our last night, so thank you very much for being here this whole time and for your participation. As I said last night, we really appreciate the enthusiasm that you guys have had with some of the homework assignments. I'm seeing someone didn't receive an email yesterday. I didn't send an email out yesterday because it was just a one-day thing. I sent it out after the second session just because there was a week in between. I didn't want anyone to forget about it. We will send an email out probably tomorrow with information, slides, if we can get them up by then. And then we also, one of our presenters may have a flyer to share with you. So that will come tomorrow, if not Friday, because we are going to be at the mayor's event. So let's see, I'm going to go over some questions we had the previous nights. Someone asked about certificates and what you're going to get in hand. We do want to give you a real certificate of achievement of having finished this program, and we would like to do it in person, but we have to coordinate with a few offices to be able to do that. So look out for that. It will probably be on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. I can tell you that, but I don't know the date as of yet. So we will be in contact after this is over within the next few weeks, hopefully, to let you know what the situation is with that. And then hopefully anybody who can be there get to meet each other in person. And let's see. What was the other question? I'm still waiting for a complete response about the on-site registration. We did see it on the map that there's an on-site registration tomorrow, but one of our speakers is with the mayor's office that's producing that event, so we can ask her when she presents tonight. I think that's pretty much it for the opening. Does anybody have anything for me before we get started? Someone's asking if they can do their elevator pitch. You're signed in as an anonymous attendee, so I don't know who you are to be able to call on you. So if you can change that, we can look at the list and see what we have going on. And I don't see anything else. So we're doing things a little bit differently. I'm going to go over the homework after our first presentation. Our first presentation is another city department. This is Sarah Polito with our own BCA office with the Office of Wage Standards. So Sarah, I will go ahead and give it up to you at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Sarah Polito and I'm with the Office of Wage Standards. Today I'm going to be going over 3 ordinances that our offices enforce. Next. Okay, so I'd just like to start off with the history and overview of the work that our office conducts. OWS was established in 2016 to enforce the city's minimum wage ordinance when it first went into effect. Shortly thereafter, we began enforcing the Fair Chance Initiative for Hiring Ordinance, also known as Ban the Box, as it refers to job application process. Since 2022, our programs have expanded to include the administration of wage and labor laws specific to hotel workers and freelance workers. In 2023, OWS was designated as the enforcement authority for Fair Workweek Ordinance, which covers retail workers. In 2025, a hotel worker training ordinance was introduced, and the citywide hotel worker minimum wage ordinance was amended, giving us OWS enforcement authority. Tonight, I will be sharing information on the city's minimum wage, Fair Chance Initiative for Hiring, and hotel worker minimum wage ordinance. Next, please. So let's get started with the minimum wage ordinance. The MOU applies to an employee who controls the wages, hours, and working conditions of an employee. And an employee is defined as someone who does work within the city of Los Angeles at least 2 hours a week. And this includes full-time, part-time, seasonal, and temporary employees. Regardless of where the employer is located, an employer shall pay the employee a wage of no less than the hourly rate set under the authority of the Los Angeles Municipal Code. As you learned in previous classes, There is a different wage requirement for work done in city contracts, specifically the living wage ordinance, which is higher and would prevail over minimum wage. You may also learn about other wage requirements when contracting and with another jurisdiction, and those requirements may supersede the minimum wage ordinance. Just be sure to check with the agency that you're doing business with about what will be required. Next slide. So our current minimum wage rate right now is $17.87. This rate is adjusted annually according to the Consumer Price Index for LA metro area, published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. OWS announces and publishes a bulletin announcing the adjusted rates on February 1st of every year, which will take effect on July 1st of every year. Please note that the city and state minimum wage do differ and the higher standard applies. Next. So how do you know if you're within the city of Los Angeles? You can use the city website, neighborhoodinfo.lacity.gov. This is a tool that you can use to verify if your work site is within the city of Los Angeles. Remember, as I mentioned before, it does not matter where the employer is located, as long as the employee is working in the city, they are subject to our minimum wage ordinance. So you would just enter the address into the search bar indicated by the yellow arrow. We do not need the zip code, the city, the direction, just the number and the street address, the street name. Next. So if that address is located in the city of Los Angeles, the screen will look similar to what you see here. As you can see, there's city elected, official information, neighborhood council information. If the words "nothing found" appear underneath the search bar, then most likely that address that you entered is not within the city of Los Angeles, and we would advise that you try reaching out to the Los Angeles County or the state. Next. The minimum wage ordinance also includes a provision that requires an employee to receive at least 48 hours of sick paid leave annually. After the first 30 days of employment, an employee is entitled to accrue PSL hours. There's two different methods an employer can use to provide PSL. First one is by the front loading method, where 48 hours is provided at the start of employment, and then another 48 hours every calendar year, 12-month period, or anniversary of employment. The next would be the accrual method, which is the rate of 1 hour of sick time per 30 hours worked. An employer can switch methods on an annual basis, and you can use different methods for different classifications. For example, you can do the front loading for all full-time employees or accrual for all part-time, and vice versa. The minimum wage ordinance also requires that any unused paid sick leave shall carry over to the following year, regardless of which method is used to acquire the time. These hours may be capped at a minimum of 72 hours, but the employer can raise the cap or have no cap at all. An employee may use paid sick leave beginning the 90th day of employment. An employer must provide paid sick leave upon an oral or written request for an employee for themselves, a family member, or any individual related by blood or affinity. Next. So some of you might be thinking, well, I give my employees CTO, holiday, personal time, instead of in the form of PTO, but do you still need to provide 48 hours of paid sick leave? There are other ways an employer can comply with the PSL provision that differ from the previous slide that was shown to you. The LAMC section 18704 states that if an employer has paid leave or paid time off policy or provides payment for compensated time off that is equal to or no less than 48 hours, no additional time is required. In order for the employer to qualify, the CTO hours must be provided to all employees, regardless of their class, such as full-time, part-time, or temporary. And according to LAMC section 187.07, if the employer is providing 48 hours, whether paid or unpaid, they may have a policy that provides other benefits that are more generous for the employee, such as the employer pays more than twice the minimum wage rate, The employer pays into a trust fund to benefit its employees, health benefits at no cost to the employees, and so on. The full list can be found in our minimum wage ordinance rules and regs. An employer must submit a form for OWS to review and approve this document compliance under this section of the LAMC, and the form is available on our website. Next. So the ordinance requires the employer to provide notice of the current minimum wage rate and must post this notice in a clear, visible, common place, such as a break room for all employees to see. This notice must be posted in English and any other language spoken by at least 5% of employees. These posters can be found on our website as well in 13 different languages. Switching gears, we have our Fair Chance Initiative for Hiring Ordinance, which is also known as Ban the Box, because it prohibits employers from inquiring about or requiring an applicant to disclose their criminal history in any form of job application or interview without first providing a conditional offer of employment. This ordinance applies to employees who have at least 10 employees performing work within the city, and this includes managers and supervisors. Next. So our fair chance process. The key to compliance here is timing. It's not that the employer can't run a background check, but during the hiring process, they can only do so. During the hiring process, they can only do so after a conditional offer of employment has been made. If after running a background check, an employer wants to rescind their job offer because of the applicant's criminal history report, the employer would first have to go through the fair chance process by notifying the applicant of their proposed adverse action, which is rescinding the job offer, and providing them with a written assessment linking the aspects of their criminal history report to the risks inherent in the job description. The written assessment must take into account and address several factors called green factors established by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. First green factor is nature and gravity. Is the applicant, is it a petty theft for $50 versus embezzling thousands of dollars? Is it a sexual assault versus a verbal assault? Misdemeanor versus severe felony? The next one would be time. Is the offense more than 10 years ago versus an applicant who's been in and out of jail for the past 10 years? The third would be job duties and responsibilities, such as access to confidential information, handling money, interacting with public, supervising children versus adults, things of that nature. And lastly is convictions. Look only at convictions and not arrests. The day the applicant receives this written notice from the employer, the applicant has 5 days to provide mitigating information or documentation. The employer must hold the position open for these 5 days. Mitigating information or documentation can include certificates from programs showing rehabilitation efforts, letters of recommendation from community members or former supervisors whom they've performed work with. If the applicant submits mitigating information, the employer must conduct a written assessment considering this information before they rescind their job offer. Something to note here is that there are exceptions to ban the box for employees who are required by law to check for convictions during the hiring process or prohibited by law from hiring applicants with convictions. There's also exceptions for applicants who are required to possess or use firearm or are specifically prohibited by law to hold certain positions because of a crime they've been convicted of. Next slide. So similar to the minimum wage ordinance, employers are required to post this Fair Chance Initiative for Hiring Ordinance notice in a clear, visible place for job applicants to see. This poster too can be found on our website in English and in Spanish. Next. Okay, now we're going to move on to the citywide hotel worker minimum wage ordinance. The amended version of this hotel minimum wage ordinance applies to hotels with 60 or more rooms in the geographic boundaries of the city of Los Angeles, or a hotel with 50 or more guest rooms located in the airport hospitality enhancement zone. and covers hotel workers who are defined as direct employee of the hotel or an employee of any contracted, leased, or sublet premises providing services at the hotel. Next. Okay, so the current rate for the citywide hotel worker wage rate is $22.50 an hour. And the ordinance includes a schedule of wage increases through 2028 as shown here in this chart. In July 2029, the rate will be based on the CPI index as it does for the minimum wage ordinance. On July 1st, 2026, an additional health benefit payment will be required. To comply with the health benefit requirement, a hotel employer must either make a health benefit payment toward the provisions of healthcare benefits for a hotel worker and dependents, or if no health benefits are provided, a hotel employer must pay the hotel worker the health benefit payment as an additional wage per hour. This health benefit rate will be announced in the spring of 2026. Next. Thank you for your time. This concludes my presentation regarding those ordinances. If you have any questions, you can always have some sort of way to contact us. We are on Broadway in downtown Los Angeles. We have a hotline, 1-844-WAGES-LA. This is monitored Monday through Friday. If you have any questions about what I just went over or any of the other ordinances I mentioned the first slide, you can always email us at wagesla@lacity.gov to get any forms, information, posters. You can also go on our website, wagesla.lacity.gov, and you can also check us out on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. We did actually get a question or two in the Q&A.
Okay.
So Hannah, if you can go ahead and start reading those.
Okay, so one of the questions was, does this PSL override California rules?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Does this PSL override California rules?
So it would be the more stringent applicant. So if the city of LA's PSL or minimum wage, because it's covered under the minimum wage, the PSL is covered under the minimum wage. If ours is more stringent, then they would have to abide by that, by the cities.
We have one more. For professional/consulting agencies who hire contract staff, do we have to meet minimum wage requirements for contractors?
So for that one, we wouldn't be able to answer that question for any other agency requirements. We can only help understand if OWS ordinance applies and how to comply with our requirements. For that question specifically, I advise that you reach out to us via email so we can really look at your question and give you the best answer.
We did get one other that was added on to something else. It says, do these rates apply to independent contractors that file their own W-4?
So that one, it would be the same as the last one. If it's contracted, then it would be the same. We can't speak or answer questions about other agency requirements. You two can email us so that we can better take a look at that.
Okay. Thank you. I did want them. I'm glad you covered the hotel wages situation, because we did have a couple of people who were talking about how they had, or in the past, or were looking to have like products placed in hotels or programs placed in hotels and other hospitality things. And so I wanted them to know that those rules were in place, because it could affect you if you're contracting with them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah. If nobody has any more questions for her, then we're going to move on. All right, we got someone clapping. We allowed reactions on this one, so feel free to clap or anything else you want. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Melissa.
So next up, we're gonna, right before we go into the next presenter, we're gonna go over the homework. So the homework question, the first, they're about the World Cup and the Super Bowl. So how about we do it where you raise your hand if you want to answer tonight. So if you looked up and you saw where the World Cup games were going to be held in Los Angeles. Anyone? Oh, Teodoro is fast. Oop, 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 oop. We got quite a few. All right, I'm going to take the first one I saw. So, Teodoro, where is it?
Yes, hi. Could you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. The World Cup 2026 will be in The United States, Mexico, and Canada.
But what in Los Angeles? Where?
Oh, in Los Angeles, at the SoFi Stadium.
All right. Next question. You guys can keep your hands up. You can take them down if you don't want to answer it. How many games? Anybody new? Anybody new?
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and mute you. And then we will take Maisha. Maisha, how many games are going to be played?
104.
How many in Los Angeles?
I think it was like 24.
Oh, nope. Okay, let me see. Anyone else? Let's call in the next person. Let's do S. Michelle. S. Michelle?
Hello?
Hi. How many games are
Hi.
going to be
Oh,
played in Los Angeles?
in Los Angeles. Okay, I did see 104 games, and I think it said 28 games.
No, not in Los Angeles as part of this as part of this event that's happening here. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next one. Let's try Mike De La Vega.
Hello, there are 18, there is 11 games, 11 matches.
You were right the first time. It's 8. It's 5 matches, 8 round 32 and 1 quarterfinal. So it's 8 total matches that are or games that are going to be played at SoFi as part of the World Cup finals. All right. So the next question is, what is the website, the procurement website for World Cup? I'm going to go with Sarah. Sarah S. Yasakochi.
I think it is just double checking. Los Angeles FWC26.com/procurement opportunities.
Very good. All right. Thank you. And then the last question for this part is, what is the email address? Was there a contact information email address that you noticed on there? And what was it? Let's try Lila. Lila Brown, do you have that one?
What was the question?
Did you see the email address for information about procurement?
Oh no.
Okay.
Super Bowl. I want to do Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm gonna lower your hand then. So raise it when we get to the next part. Let's try 24/7 events. 24/7?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you see the email address?
So I do see an email address. There's an info email address, but actually I went in and did sign up to get procurement information, and it was a Google form. So where there's actually a link to go
Okay,
ahead
but
and
what's
put in
the
your
email
information.
address?
info@lasec.us.
Okay. Close, but not quite. Let me go ahead and Desiree, your hand is still up. Do you know?
Is it the local supplier at lasec.us?
Very good. Very good. All right. So now we're moving on to the Super Bowl. What is the date of Super Bowl 2027? See, Scott, I saw you up there first. Go ahead.
It's February 8th, 2026.
No. Next, anybody else want to try? Let's try J. Oh, where'd you go? JCC Luxury.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, we have February 14th, 2027.
That's right. It's on Valentine's Day. All right. Let's see about the next one. The next one is, where is it being held?
Oh.
Anyone?
Oh, I do. Where's Sam?
Oh, everybody's still showing up here. Let me do, who's that? Maisha.
Levi Stadium in Santa Clara.
I couldn't hear you. What?
Levi Stadium in Santa Clara.
No, not the Super Bowl. Let's try HEMA. HEMA?
Sophie Stadium, Inglewood. Hi.
Yes, SoFi Stadium again. And hi. And then last question. Did you see the email address or the contact information for procurement for that event? Anybody? I'm gonna go back, Lila. We'll give you a chance. You still have your hand up.
Yes. Okay.
If you didn't, it's okay.
Procurement info.
Anyone? There's a lot of open mics right now, so no. All right.
Hello. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Lila. I didn't know. So I see LA Super Bowl HC.com. And it's the Business Connect, and to contact, you go through LASEC Volunteer Academy.
Okay, you're getting close. You've said it, the two words that I'm looking for, but they're not in the right order. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna give you the answer and introduce our next speaker. So the email address is businessconnect@lasec, LASEC.us. And that stands for the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission, which is our next speaker, Simona Caldwell. So she's going to talk about those two big events. And again, please put your questions in the chat or the Q&A as we go through. And if you haven't muted yourself and you were answering questions, please do. I'm going to try to take you out of here right now. But Simona, go ahead. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me. Good late afternoon, everyone. Okay, so first I have to say, when you said S. Michelle, that's like the beginning of my email because it's my name. Like it's Simona and my middle name is Michelle. So all my stuff starts with S. Michelle. So when you said, I was like, wait, did I put something in the chat or in there? So interesting. And then someone's name is Maisha, my best friend from junior high school. Her name is Maisha. So I was just having all kind of nostalgia here going on. But again, thank you all for joining us today and learning more about the Los Angeles Sports Entertainment Commission, as well as I'll touch upon Business Connect a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to talk about FIFA, and then I can provide just a little bit of information about Super Bowl. Next slide, please. Yes, thank you. So basically, a lot of people don't understand what the Sports Commission does. So the Los Angeles Sports Entertainment Commission, otherwise known as LASEC, and I know a lot of people refer to it as LASIK. We hear it, we think of eye surgery. So either you could say Sports Entertainment Commission or LASEC. But nevertheless, the organization was created by Mayor Reardon in 1995. The main objective was to have an ongoing entity working to attract major sports entertainment events to the LA region, which brings a lot of economic and community impact, and of course to help drive tourism. There's no other organization in Los Angeles that specifically focuses on driving economic and community impact through bidding on securing and hosting major high-profile sporting and entertainment events. So more specifically, LASEC, we focus and we're responsible for pulling all the bid pieces together for these events. So when you all have RFPs for certain opportunities, we also had to complete an RFP to bring these events to Los Angeles. And it includes hotel room blocks, securing the primary venue, creating the marketing and promotional items, the legacy and community engagement, and so much more. And if you're not aware, LASEC is a 501c3 California nonprofit public benefit corporation. Next slide, please. So a lot of folks usually ask me, okay, so Simona, you work for LASEC, you run Business Connect, but what do you do actually as the director? So my primary role, of course, is to be an advocate for you all, our local, small, and underrepresented businesses. So with the high-profile events coming to Los Angeles under LASEC and other entities, it's super important for me to have a seat at the table with these events, folks, to ensure procurement opportunities will be available and share the information, of course, with local business organizations and my collaborative partners. One of my main goals is to figure out, how can I circumvent I already got a guy who does that. So generally when you're talking to someone, you say, hey, I'm a florist. Is there anything that I can do for you? They already have a florist. So my job is to get around that. And that's why it's super important for me to build relationships with key decision makers, to promote businesses that have the capacity, right, that are close to contract ready, and offer and encourage them to provide an opportunity to a new business, right? Let's try another company to see what they can do. Next slide, please. So as you can see, we are well into a decade unlike any other, in which major events, including Super Bowl 56 in 2022, also including the MLB All-Star Game. We had 2023 college football playoff national championship. We also have WrestleMania and the 123rd US Open Championship. Those events that have been here in LA have already generated more than $1 billion in economic and community impact for the Los Angeles region. So now our region approaches a stretch of even more sports events unmatched by any other destination. So I'm just going to share a little bit of statistics from a few research organizations about these events and the economic impact. So for NBA All-Star coming next year, it's projected to generate more than $350 million in economic and media impact for Inglewood and the greater Los Angeles area. There's also the U.S. Women's Open. Previous events in other cities have delivered between 25 and 35 million in economic impact for those cities. So we're assuming, of course, a new year inflation will probably be closer to like 40 million, 45. FIFA World Cup, that's the first, like the second big one behind NBA All-Star, but that's projected to generate 594 million in economic impact to LA County. And let me give you the stats for this. It's made up of 343 million in direct spending by World Cup visitors. And I like to say that a few times. 343 million in direct spending by World Cup visitors, and then another 251 million in follow-up spending. So lots of opportunity there with the tourism. And then you have Super Bowl 61 that's coming up. Yes, it will be at SoFi on Valentine's Day, and the impact from Super Bowl 56 when we had it in 2022 when our Rams won. Delivered close to $477 million. And so we're again expected to at least broach that $500 million number, probably even more. So combined, the projections for these upcoming events will add more than an additional $1 billion in economic impact for the Los Angeles region just for this decade. And it's not even including the Olympics and Paralympics. So we're super excited about what's to come. Next slide. So as Melissa mentioned, you guys talked about the website to the local impact supplier program for FIFA. And this is a resource designed to encourage local procurement and sourcing for FIFA World Cup in the host cities with the goal of maximizing local impact while empowering and elevating local businesses. Next slide. So as you all are pretty much aware, there is a serious high interest, right, in the opportunities available for small and local businesses for World Cup. We understand that many individuals and businesses are eager to get involved, and that speaks to, of course, the passion and the talent that we have here in the LA region. The opportunities that are available through FIFA, please understand, are specific to event production goods and services, which creates a specific business need, right? So the local impact supplier program is looking for businesses with experience and capacity, since many opportunities for FIFA are built around match days and events. So as of late, our interest forum has attracted over 500 businesses. And just so y'all can, just a disclaimer, the number of opportunities will be limited by each event structure, timeline, and requirements. So of course, the bidding process will then be competitive. But please know that selections are not a reflection on any value of the businesses who express interest. And we are expecting a large amount of tourism here in Los Angeles for FIFA. So you heard me say that, 394 million in direct spending. So collaborations with various partners are taking place to identify additional opportunities for local businesses to get involved, again, whether that be through neighborhood activations, cultural showcases, volunteer programs, or secondary events surrounding the match areas. So I definitely encourage businesses to look outside of the venue to identify those potential opportunities to engage. Again, I always give this example. If you have a bakery, what can you do to attract those tourists tours, the tourism to come to your place of business, whether it be like a soccer person cutout or you could bake soccer cookies. Of course, you have to be mindful of utilizing any IP because you can get a cease and desist letter from FIFA. But what can you do to make people see that your business or what you're doing is soccer and FIFA friendly? Next slide. So our efforts as the host city committee are focused on building long-term growth, of course, for our city and the local and small businesses that drive our economy here in Los Angeles. And these efforts align with the program's mission, which includes ensuring businesses have access to FIFA-related opportunities, assisting FIFA with sourcing pre-vetted, event-ready suppliers that meet the event needs, supporting a model that uplifts businesses, right, in communities in the LA region, building relationships with our event and venue partners to create long-term economic opportunities after the games are over. And those are super important. We want to create a lasting impact as far as relationship building. And I always think about if I come to, a particular business and I'm from another state or another country, every time I come back to LA, I want that person to come to my business. So we want to create that repetitive long-term economic opportunity, again, after the games are over. Next slide. So this current slide, it lists the most requested and typical business disciplines under event production that's utilized by our event partners producing premier sports and entertainment events. Wow, that was a tongue twister. They include food and beverage, security, entertainment, decor and furniture. There's a list of them on the slide there. And just so you know, sometimes we have conversations with the primes that are working with FIFA. And if we hear of another discipline that's needed, because usually that can be glam, like that's one that's come up before. If that comes up and it's not something that we have in our purview, we will reach out to collaborative partners, meaning other business organizations, to say, hey, do you have a company that does X and may be certified in Y? So we will reach out to our partners to see if we can fulfill those needs. And if it's requested enough, we'll add it to the slide here or to the site. Next slide, please. So a lot of people say, so what do I need to do to be prepared? What do I need to do to apply for this local impact supplier program? So if you're interested in submitting an expression of interest form, you must be an experienced business that, of course, is a direct source of your goods and services, as it states there, been established for 3 years in the greater Los Angeles area. Your business must be event ready and, again, have the capacity to meet the subcontracting needs of FIFA and their related partners. And then lastly, your business must be in good standing in the state of California. I can't tell you how much I need to stress to you the event ready piece and have the capacity to meet the subcontracting needs of FIFA and related partners. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Next slide. So this QR code will take you to the form itself on that website that you all talked about and learned about as homework. So please complete the form if you are eligible. Again, you can also send your questions to, and you guys know it now, localsupplier@lascc.us. And just as a disclaimer, please note that completion of any interest form does not guarantee any selection, appointment, affiliation, or other form of association with FIFA, World Cup, host committees, or any other FIFA entities. So, everyone has a role, whether big or small, that of course will contribute to the success of this event coming to Los Angeles. And so the relationships built and visibility that we will gain from this event will create a lasting impact. So together, we want to make Los Angeles a destination spot that we are all proud of. Next slide, please. So this is a question that I get a lot. Everybody wants to know, so how do I prepare? What do I need to do to be contract ready? The first thing I will share with you is make sure that you build your brand and leverage your social media presence. When we are vetting the businesses who submit their interest form, the first thing that we go to is your website. So if I go to your website, and this has happened before, sometimes we get the security message, or are you sure you want to click on this because this is not a secure website? We're going to move on to the next one. If we go to your website and we can't really tell what you do, I've had that too, where people may have a lot of pictures, but I don't know if they're a photographer. I don't know if they're a marketing person. keep it simple, right? You want to keep it simple. Here's what I do. Here's some examples of that via pictures. And then just make sure that your contact information is up to date, right? There's some folks that have their contact information, their phone number. We try to reach out and it's a voicemail. We never hear back. So whatever information or contact information you put on your website, please make sure that you have someone responding to that within 24 hours. The other thing is, of course, make sure that your social media presence is consistent across all of the platforms. So if you have one event that you're showing on TikTok, make sure it's the same event you're posting on Instagram. Just so if someone goes to another site of yours and they go, oh, okay, yeah, this is the same business, that they know that they're looking at. The other thing is to make sure you have your capability statement and or deck ready to go. I know with some of the opportunities coming through with FIFA, working with their tier ones, instead of asking for a RFI, request for information, they are asking for a capability statement. So make sure you utilize your resources through this program or others to make sure that you have a nice capability statement that really is reflective of the work that you're doing, not only for your business, but also if you have any communications or contacts in the community that you're doing in relation to your business. And then, of course, start thinking about like what you can do to make your business stand out from the others. Again, you can collaborate with other partners, but again, if you're looking to do this solo, if I'm a bakery, what am I going to do to attract that business to come to my bakery, right? Am I going to make it FIFA centric, and have people want to come into that space? So start thinking about those things. The other thing is research and preparation. That was a part of your homework, right? So you want to research the event pages and stay current on all the procurement opportunities. Sign up for their business list, or interest form if you're eligible. And here's the thing about the portals, all the portals, RAMP, LA28, just sign up for all the portals because you want to make sure that your business is visible on all the portals. The next thing too is when you are researching these events, make sure you understand again what they're looking for. So if, again, we have that slide with all of the disciplines on there, if your discipline is not on there, please don't fill it out and say, I'm doing this, so just in case you need it. We will reach out and let you know if we do. There's some instances where it may be close to one of the disciplines, or if you have to, put the one that you are most known for your business. But again, it goes back to you making sure that you align with what they're asking for. Capacity and scalability. Those are two huge things. Large events require vendors to deliver at scale with quality, often under tight deadlines and high scrutiny. So if you can't do that, super important just to make sure you get there so you can apply for the next opportunity. Another thing too is your financial products, goods, and services as far as capacity. The example I like to share sometimes is we had an RFP for furnitures and fixtures. They wanted a company to have 1,000, right, of the same chairs, same color, same make, and everything. Number one, do you have that if you're a furniture company? If you don't, can you get it? Do you have the financial capacity to get it? And then you have to think about, okay, when the event is over, what am I going to do with these 1,000 chairs, right? Can you either donate them or sell them, or you have use for them for another event? So these are things that you need to think about. And then for the services, like a crew feed, if you're selected to do a crew feed for the folks that are setting up with FIFA, you do it for a week, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Do you have the capacity to do that and still run your business, right? They'll give you a deposit, right, to help you get started, but you probably won't get paid till after everything's done, right? So do you have the capacity to handle that particular request? Another thing is, what if you run out of apples, right, for lunch? You're like, oh my gosh, I need to go buy more apples. Can you go to a farmer's market? Can you go to a Smart and Final to get the apples to put in there so then you can fulfill what they're requesting for your contract? So those are just a few examples. I have several that I can share with you because they happen all the time, but I just want you all to understand the details of what these opportunities look like, and so again, we can talk about that in depth if you would like to. In certification, work with your local business organizations and chambers to get the resources you need. I will tell you, we've had some people that have the whole alphabet of certifications behind their business. Which is fine if it works for them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that their business is the best, right? So you want to make sure that when you are looking at certification, that you think about which certification you want to get based on who you plan to work with. So based on that, I usually tell people to get your small business enterprise certification. It's simple. There's of course several resources where you can work with to get that, which is super important. And some entities require it, some doesn't. For example, FIFA doesn't require you to be certified, but Super Bowl probably will. So you got to make sure, like, okay, am I going to get this and I'll have it forever and I can use it for other events, or what am I going to do? So please make sure you think about that. Insurance is a huge piece. Can you get $1 million to $2 million insurance in liability insurance or workers' comp, right? If your broker or your agent can't currently provide that for your business, then you got to find someone who can. Sometimes, depending on who you're working with, they may underwrite that, but most of the time they do not. So they want you to have at least, it used to be 1 million, I said 1 to 2. Most of the things that I'm seeing now are pushing $2 million in liability insurance and workers' comp. So that's something else to keep top of mind. And then the other thing is competitive pricing and value proposition. So although pricing is super important, even organizers look for value added services, innovation, community impact. So when you're looking at these opportunities, think about your unique selling points, sustainability, local sourcing, any cultural relevance that you can pull into that particular RFP. And sustainability is huge with FIFA. So, again, if you have a restaurant, are you using styrofoam cups or plates still? Or are you using bamboo? Have you switched to paper straws? Those are things that they're looking at in the larger picture of things as far as sustainability is concerned with the FIFA World Cup. And then, of course, how does your business align with the event's mission and or value? So you always want to find that connectivity. So you can include that either in your capability statement or just in your RFP where needed. And lastly, you're here, so you're networking and you're building partnerships. You want to build connections with other businesses, sponsors, and other stakeholders involved with these events. Collaboration is key. Maybe you go somewhere and you feel like you didn't get an opportunity, but visibility is huge. And you being engaged in the ecosystem around these events, super important. So you learn about what's happening, what's taking place, how you can be a part. And then, like I said before, capability statements, of course, make it reflective of who you are as a business and as a person. Last but not least, I'll just go over a couple more points. Common pitfalls that I see: overcommitting. Don't apply. Please don't apply for the bid if you're unable to deliver. If you are selected to move on to the next process, make sure that you ask questions for clarity when needed, and do your homework regarding the opportunity. Please do not use a cookie cutter approach for these RFPs. You got to make sure that you cater the bid to that specific need and what you as a business can provide. So as a summary of some of the next steps, again, evaluate your operational readiness for a high profile event, super important based on what I just went over. If you haven't already, start looking into getting certified. Research upcoming events and procurement timelines. Again, sign up for all the portals, ALL, all the portals. Attend networking events, continue participating like with this readiness program, and then build strategic partnerships, which is super important. I will mention quickly about Super Bowl. They do have a program called the NFL Source. We are going to be in conversation with them soon to kind of figure out what they're going to do as it relates to procurement. I've been in contact with the host city committee in San Francisco. Somebody said Santa Clara is happening on the 8th. That's in San Francisco. And so just to kind of get an idea of what's going to happen, we'll figure out what the recruitment process looks like. So again, once that information is received, I will share it with Melissa so she can share it with this cohort. So next slide, please. That's my contact information, has my cell number, it has my Business Connect LASCC address, but you also have access to the local supplier one. That is for me, and also for FIFA, so I keep them separate because I have a program versus FIFA. And if you click on that QR code, it will take you to the Business Connect webpage on the LASCC website, and there you can learn more about the program. Just a heads up, our interest form period is closed, but we will be sharing the list for those who submitted interest form for FIFA who are eligible with our other event partners, such as the NBA and NFL for Super Bowl. So again, we will most certainly probably start our recruitment process again sometime towards the end of first quarter next year, taking into consideration the needs of our event and venue partners and other industries that we're working with. So please call or email if you have any questions. I am a team of Simona. So if I don't get back to you right away, I would definitely appreciate your patience and know that I will respond as soon as I am able. But before I leave, I'm just going to tell you, prepare and stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much, Simona. People, if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A. I just want to point out that some keywords that jumped out while you were talking from some of our presentations they've seen already. I don't know if you noticed, she mentioned capability statements. She mentioned insurance. She mentioned loans. These were things that Meriwether and Williams and the business source centers both talked about at length as things and services that they either provide or work with you to find providers of them. So again, same same message. So these are all really, really important things, and hopefully hearing that will let you know that those are things you really should get on top of while you can and find out the information, and some of our previous presenters can help you do that. So I don't see anybody raising hands, or oh, I see one. I'll just go.
Oh, you got it, Melissa?
I'll go ahead and read it since I'm already yammering away. I says, I would like to know if we applied for the interest form, when are they notifying the selected businesses?
For FIFA, I'm assuming? Yes. If you are selected to move on or to participate in any request for proposal, yes, they will reach out to you directly. They are vetting, like I said, we had over 500. So the FIFA team for the local impact supplier program, they are going through those submission forms and picking out those that meet the eligibility criteria to participate. And so then that's going to be rolled up into one list for Los Angeles that they will share with FIFA, and they'll do some additional vetting with FIFA. And then again, if you're selected to move on, they will reach out to you directly.
She was asking about a time frame. So do you is the next 3 or 4 months? Don't know.
It depends on the discipline. And I will just share with you all, this is like a hurry up and wait game. Just like, the folks at LA 28, and I present with them a lot, but they talk about the last 18 months being when things are going to happen. It's no different for some of these other big events, right? So a lot of the stuff that's happening now is just maybe like a couple of things like transportation, furniture, and fixtures, and those are part of the build out. But like for food, beverage, and some of the day-to-day things that they'll probably need, we'll hopefully hear from some of their event partners. I would say December, January. So again, you're having multiple people look at these lists and then determining who's in what discipline and who we can reach out to. So it's a process. And again, it's a hurry up and wait process. We're waiting to see what other opportunities come about that I can share. And so they figure it out based on, again, their primes that they're working with. So yeah. Sorry, I wish I could say tomorrow, but
It's just a little time. Let's see. Someone asked if we provide different services and products on the interest list. So on that are there, do you recommend filling it out once for each type of product and service?
No, please don't. They do not recommend that you do that. Whatever your business is known for, fill it out for that discipline.
All right. And then the last one is, are you going to open again the apply for interest? I'm assuming that's for the NFL one.
For the Business Connect?
Yeah.
So Business Connect started off, and let me just be clear because I don't want anybody to get confused. So the Business Connect program started out as an NFL program. LASEC asked to license the program, so it's now ours, and that's why the NFL has the NFL Source program. So once we have conversations with them, like within the next couple of weeks, we'll learn more about the next steps for them to start recruiting for their procurement process and what that looks like. But for Business Connect, the program that will still be existing after all these events go away, we will probably reopen again, like I said, end of first quarter, again, because we're working with a lot of our partners and events and venues to determine what their needs are. And so our goal is not to just add a whole bunch of people. We want to be strategic, right? So if they say, hey, we're going to need more marketing and PR people, if we see that that's a consistent request coming in, then we're going to start adding those people to our list, right? But if they don't ask for that, then there's really no need for us to add that at that moment. But here's the deal. For Business Connect and for FIFA, like I said, we never discard the list, right? We always keep the list of the businesses who applies because you never know who's going to need what when. And so even if there's an opportunity, I may come back and say, oh my gosh, I need a glam person. Or I see that you also do this. Is there a way that you can then let me know where you are with your certification if you're ready to go or contract ready? So those are things that we still keep and look out for. Again, our goal is to help local businesses get opportunities. And so whatever we need to do that's what we're going to make happen. And that's, again, what my primary role is to do. And a lot of that is sitting at the table with a lot of these event partners and meetings to say, hey, what do you have? What's going on? What can we make happen? They're not just coming to me and saying, oh, Simona, look at all this wonderful stuff we have. It's one of those things where I'm on the phone, I'm sending emails repetitively. Hey, what's going on? Tell me how we can work together. I have, these business organizations that I work with who have multiple businesses that may be contract ready. What do we need so you can just come to LA and be ready to go? We have it. Let's make it happen.
One last question. It's a little more outside the box, but you might have a suggestion for them. It says, we're an IT consulting firm specializing in technology solutions. We didn't see many IT related opportunities listed, but we offer innovative prototype solutions that could support the LA Games. I'm assuming all of the different various games. Could you please let us know who would the right person be to reach out about something like this?
It would be the prime. And I would say that the prime generally will have someone that they're already working with in the IT space, unless they're going to plan to sub out. And they let us know that. And again, those are conversations that we try to have with the primes, like, hey, what are you working on? What do you need? But usually those are already taken care of, unless, again, we get a request for something else that's happening at like a smaller event, or if there's a VIP party, or there's something else going on where they need specific IT assistance, then they'll let us know. But from
okay. So we had early on someone recommending using some of these portals like Ramp to do research about previous contracts, to look at things that were being awarded. So this would be a good example of that, where you would look to see who the primes are, who have contracted out using that type of service before, and maybe start networking with them or reaching out to those particular companies. So I think that is the last one for now. So thank you, Simona, very, very much. And we are going to move on, if David, if you're okay with it, if we go into your presentation next. But I know you're presenting your own, so
Sounds
are you
good.
ready?
I'm ready. Can you hear me?
All
Can
right.
you see me?
Thank you, Simona. Oh yes, David, Simona, you, of course, you all know each other.
Hey, Simona, I see you. And I think whatever she said, I'll say ditto and be done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Go for it.
We covered a lot of good stuff that we're talking about here.
All right, so I'll go ahead and take over, David. This is David Margolis from LA28. So
thanks so much. And with Caroline helping with the slides. Caroline, are you going to show some notes or no? Maybe not. That's fine. Anyhow, thanks so much for having me. My name is David Margolis. I am currently, I've been here for 5 months, but I'm the VP of Strategic Sourcing and Operations at LA28. I'm really excited to be here today. I know you heard from Stephanie earlier or last week, I think it was. Hopefully we don't have too much repetitive here, but I want to make sure you guys, I can give you all I can. I don't have that many slides to talk about, but I think we can go to the next slide. All right, so of course the lawyers make me do this, but we're a nonprofit organization. I think you've heard this from Eric many times, but really are managed by how good some of those partners and sponsorships we get. We're self-funded from them. And because of that, we're very careful with what we're buying and how we're buying, because we can't buy more money than we have, right? So we have to be very careful with the commercial partners we're working with, and make sure that we're working with them closely, and that we are using them to kind of support the games for us. It's been very helpful so far. We're getting close to our numbers. We have a lot of work to do next probably year and a half to make sure that we're going to be self-funded. Next slide, please. So quick agenda here. We're talking about the commitment to small and local. Obviously, that's why we're here. The process that we're going through, we're still kind of at the beginning of our journey here in terms of the overall procurement process. I'll give you some examples of things that we want to buy and the kind of how to be ready. I think Simona hit a lot of those already. I don't really have them detailed here, but she was very good at capturing the things that we're going to talk about. Quick little about myself real quickly in an introduction standpoint. I've met some of you already, but I come from outside of the industry. I'm from the Intel Corporation, where I was there for 30 years in the high-tech world. And a lot part of my job was, I got later in my career, was making sure that whenever Intel put a factory in a location, it was a city or state or different countries, part of my role was going to those communities and making sure that whatever Intel was doing was going to be okay with them, from economic development, sustainability. Obviously, pollution was a big concern, but really working with the local community is a big part of my role, probably for the past 3 or 4 years at Intel when I was there. Next slide, please, about local and small. So I think some of you have seen these slides before. We have extremely ambitious targets. I think they were a little lower before I got here. For some reason, they got raised on us, but that's okay. Our goal is to hit those. I'm working very closely with Isabel Guzman and her team. She's fantastic, by the way, if you haven't met Isabel. But she's very helpful kind of walking us through this journey and trying to figure out, how to get the most out of our local and small businesses out there. And she's really helping us get that next level. I don't think without her, we wouldn't have been able to get to where we are today. And where we are today, I'll talk about in a couple of slides, but it's really getting to the point where all of our FAs, we call them functional areas, but those are the individuals that are buying the stuff with me. They are thinking in their head, how do they do it from a small local standpoint? They all have to have their own strategies in place in terms of figure out, okay, they have to spend X amount of dollars, how much that percent is going to be for small local businesses. We're also going to try to maximize the hyper local and micro business as well. That's challenging, as you know. I think Simona talked about that a little earlier on in terms of how do we make sure the hyper local and micro business are ready for us, right? How do they have the capacity? How do they have the insurance capabilities, the risk reduction opportunities to really get and win that business? I hate to say it, the FIFA and the NFL is going to only help us and help the small local business because they'll get practice, hopefully, win some of the business there. It'd be better for the LA20 as well. The last point here, we're going to talk about this kind of key thing is that when we leave, we want to make sure that others are going to be, or that the community is ready for other business besides LA28, right? And it's always not going to be directly from an LA28 purchase order, right? There's a lot of indirect opportunities from our partners and other ones that are coming to the area that won't be bought from LA28, but or be because of LA28 or because of FIFA or because of the Super Bowl coming here. And I think that's something we really kind of focus on, that just because the purchase order isn't coming from LA28 or FIFA, it's still going to get you business either way, right? That's our goal, is find business for you, whether directly from us or from indirect as well. Next slide. So I think the spend chart, as you've seen, this isn't a surprise. We're trying to shoot for 75% is our goal from a local standpoint, and the 25% from a small business standpoint. I think we can hit this. I know I'm pretty optimistic, but and Isabel didn't want me to say that, but I think it's going to be, it's an opportunity for me to really go and drive some of these programs that I was able to do at Intel Corporation and do it within the games as well. It's going to be challenging, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of challenges that we have to do from a partnership standpoint, from a venue management standpoint, but I think it's kind of fun for me to force our functional areas, I call my stakeholders, to think out of the box and really think differently about how to buy things and how to manage their businesses. Next slide. So how do we do this? We've had some purchases to date, obviously not very much. We just got the point where all my functional areas have given me their forecast. So I just finally have a forecast of what to buy. It ends up being almost 800 line items on the spreadsheet. It's a pretty crazy spreadsheet, as you can imagine. But it's really an opportunity for me to say, okay, now we know where we are, what we need. There's still a lot of holes in terms of timing, and obviously the dollars are there, but at least people had to go put down, we made them do this by the end of last week, give me exactly what they're going to buy and when. We're going to go back next couple of months or so, and then I think we owe it to you guys. I think sometime mid to late Q1, we're going to give you that calendar and give you an understanding of, give the city and the mayor's office an understanding of, okay, here's what we think we're going to buy. Here's where the opportunities are for small local businesses. So that forecasting process just got done. We're hopefully going to get that released to you guys in early 2026, probably mid Q1 2026 is our goal. And it's going to talk about everything that we need to buy. The next part is, how do we do that? What's our plan and what's our approach to do that? How are we going to get competitive in this space? Simona talked a lot about that. It's going to be the RFQ process, RFP process. We're going to really go and identify and select the best suppliers that can meet our needs, that are competitive for our business. And the goal is going to obviously include local and small suppliers. They have to be. It doesn't make sense not to include them because we need to have them for the future, right, in LA. After we do that, sourcing of vendors, we're going to do some supplier IO registration, some ramp registration. That's how we're going to find out who's available. You've seen some today. I think we've been doing a pretty good job. I think we're going to see a bunch more come next couple of quarters. You've seen a lot from AECOM for us. AECOM is our construction company. They're going to, but they're doing it. They're working for LA28, and they're going to have a lot of ramp postings for their selections. And the best way to us to find out about vendors that someone talked about is Ramp LA, Supplier L, vendor networks, et cetera, et cetera. Then we're going to compete award the contract. After we understand what we want, we'll select down some of the criteria that Simona mentioned. There's going to be, some key things. Can you meet our needs? Can you meet requirements? do you have enough capacity to really handle a big event, right? We're going to try to do some set-asides is our goal, and set aside some opportunities for small and local that don't have capacity operations, and try to identify every functional area. What's their plan to do some set-asides? We haven't got there yet and got the buy-in yet, but that's kind of my goal next couple of quarters to do that. And then obviously at the end, we'll get some purchase orders going to our suppliers. Again, an LA 28 purchase order is fantastic, but don't forget about the indirect opportunities as well. That doesn't come directly from an LA 28 purchase order, but comes from somewhere else in the community that's there because of the games. Next slide. So where are we? We're in the end of 2025, and one of that red things coming up is kind of cool. So I got everybody's forecast finally, and what we committed to doing was a kind of procurement sneak peek or deep dive. We're going to use F&B, which is our food and beverage FA, and I think we're doing November 5th. I have a flyer I'll show you next. I think some of you guys seen the flyer. It's really going to be a cool presentation. We're going to talk about everything we're doing in F&B. From the beginning of it. We're going to do it again, F&B, probably in Q1, Q2, where we get more closer to actually making some purchases. Now it's going to be a high-level understanding of kind of what our plan is from a small local standpoint. And then the procurement plan is going to come out probably, we're thinking, end of Q1. And that's where Reynolds is going to come out with exactly our plans to buy, what we're going to buy, when we think we need it, and what our small local opportunities are as well. Next slide. Oh, here's the flyer that we sent out. Hopefully some of you received it. I know we sent it to a bunch of organizations. November 5th is the day. Again, this is the beginning of the procurement series, we're calling it. The goal is to do these probably, once the procurement plan comes out, probably every month or so after procurement plan. We'll choose a different functional area. This is going to be the food and beverage. We'll do transportation. We'll do sport, obviously. We'll probably get to a point, we'll do some the venue infrastructure through AECOM, and so on. Ideally, we want to do 6 or more. I got the goal of doing 12. I'm not sure if it's too ambitious or not, but I want to try to get 6+ at least into the next year or so to really show what what's coming in from a small and local standpoint. Next slide. So what are we buying? I think you might have seen this slide before. Some of you, I'm going to make this slide a lot bigger and better, probably in early to or late Q1. But the high level, it's really the 5 categories, the venue infrastructure. This is all of our construction. It's everything we're doing with AECOM and a little outside of AECOM's venue. But it's what to make, it's how the venues are constructed and what goes in each venue. The sport games operation is to what's around those sports. Obviously lab service, warehousing, and car fleet. There's a lot more going to be added to here. This is just a subset of what we're going to get to probably in the late Q1 time frame. Technology, heard a couple of questions for some more about technology. This is a little more challenging because we have some big partners in technology already, and we have an in-house group that's very good, and they like to do a lot of stuff themselves. They do have some buys coming though that we'll talk about in Q1. It's going to be more kind of games time buys, like things they need for partners that are coming in during the games times. People management, obviously the resource is going to be a big part of this. Construction resources are huge. We're trying to figure out how to maximize those as much as we can. And then the comms and marketing, talk about brands and the research organizations, film and videos, lots of opportunities for small local business in that space. Next slide. So how to get ready. I think Simona talked a lot about this. I'm not going to repeat what she said, but reps. That's for repetition. So I think it's Malcolm Gladwell said 10,000 times to be an expert. So the more business small local business can get, the better it's going to be opportunity to win businesses. That's why having FIFA and NFL is really going to be beneficial. If you can win something in FIFA, it gives you a head start on everybody else because you know what you're doing. You've proven yourself. You've shown how you can handle the capacity opportunities. You met all the requirements. So the more reps you get in winning business, the better it's going to be to get business in LA 28. Understand our requirements and our processes, the NDA process, the NMRA process, obviously the RFX process, some of our minimum requirements with insurance, cybersecurity, et cetera. Really understand what we need prior to getting the business helps a lot. So we're going to have some workshops probably for that through Eric's organization, and really go figure out, what are some of those minimum requirements, whether it's insurance, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's risk reduction, how to go have a head start on some of the stuff that when you apply for a bid. Lastly, get on ramp and supplier IO. That's the best way for us to know about you, to be honest with you. Once we put an announcement on ramp, that when you apply, we'll know who you are and read out your information and make an initial decision based on that. And I think that's all I had. I tried to get Melissa back on schedule.
Well, thank
That's
you.
all
No, that was great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I perked up when you mentioned the flyer. Carolyn did send us the flyer, so we are going to
good.
send that out.
Awesome.
I haven't done it yet just because we got it kind of as we were getting started. So that
Gotcha.
will come. We're going to send an email out with not David's slides because LA28 does not. There's too many changing pieces. So
I apologize. We don't
understand.
have, for some reason, they don't let us send slides these days, but
That's
apologize for
fine.
that.
But all the most of the slides that we've had so far will go out, and we will include the flyer with that as
Great,
well. And if there's
fantastic.
anything else you want us to include, let us know.
Okay,
So,
I appreciate that.
does anybody have any questions for David, LA28? Nothing?
Wow.
This is your chance.
They're
This
tired.
is
It's the fourth day.
LA28.
They're tired.
It is the fourth day.
I get it. I totally get it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being. Oh, someone asked, when will the workshop start?
So the first F&B deep dive is on 11/5. We're still trying to figure out the workshop timeframe. We might combine, we call it procurement series, is what we're going to call it. The procurement series is probably going to happen after Reynolds takes the procurement calendar to the city. We'll probably start after that. So it's probably going to be late Q1, early Q2 is we'll have more of these procurement series opportunities where we're going to talk about different functional areas. We're talking about their small local business strategies.
Someone said, will you have workshops for the last category, branding PR?
It's a great question. I have no idea, to be honest with you. That's the hardest one for me. I would love to have something like that. They're the ones that we're challenged with so far. All the FAs have been pretty good. That's the one that we're still working on to really understand what their needs are. They've been really busy, obviously, and they haven't really committed to really working with us as much as we want them to.
All right, next one. And this was actually something I was going to bring up. How do people find out about these seminars? Is it going to be through RAMP, through NICS codes, through mailing lists? Where do they sign up, or what website do they check to find out?
It's a great question. So Carolyn, can you answer which group gets that? Because it's really good. And they're not seminars. There's really a procurement series. What we're doing is really tasking all of my stakeholders, the functional areas that own the budgets, to go and some are excited for it. Some don't know what they're doing. And Isabel is really helping us figure out what they're doing in each functional area. And I think we're going to send it out. Carolyn, who do you send these out to, the flyers?
Yeah, so we initially will start with our business support organizations and heavily lean on our partners, LA Area Chamber of Commerce, Los Angeles Business Council, people like that, Valley Economic Chamber Alliance, to then send that flyer or information out to their members. So we're very heavily leaning on our partners as well as the city to start individually reaching out on behalf of LA28.
Okay. All right. So not through RAMP notifications yet, like the bids will when they come out.
Correct.
Okay.
The RAMP is going to be used by us mostly just for opportunities, expression of interest in the actual event that's happening.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let me see. Are there going to be any optional categories that might arise outside the current needs? It's 3 years out.
Yeah, I need more explanation of that. I mean, it probably will be, but I'm like, optional in what way?
We'll come back to that one then,
okay.
if you can clarify. And then if we get a FIFA contract, will FIFA let you know we had one, or we put it in your application? I assume that would be
great question. Yeah, it's a great question for FIFA. I would like to know about it a lot. If I had my choice, I'd say yes. I can't talk for FIFA, but I don't know why not, or they can allude to it probably in applications. I've seen other bids often. Maybe Simona can answer.
If you end up getting a contract, what we usually tell folks to list are their notable clients. So if you have FIFA or a related partner, you can include that on your capability statements and or whatever RFIs you're submitting.
Yeah.
But you can also, put it on your statement, right? It'll put it on. You can put it on who you are and all the paperwork as far as. And a lot of times those contracts do have questions about previous contracts that you may have fulfilled. So, so you may be asked that question directly. And then someone is asking, "Oh, I'm doing something wrong for opportunities to pop up on RAMP." Right now, from last time I looked, rampla.org, the front landing page had a whole bunch of brand new LA28 opportunities. There are more inquiries than RFPs right now, though, right? Like there's
I think what our commitment is we're using RAMP LA to announce events, right? We're not going to actually do the sourcing From there, we're going to announce a sourcing event that will be taking place. So that's what we're going to see from LA 28 on Ramp LA.
So, but if you go, it's highlighted. It's at the top of the page. It's all the current things that you can respond to. And that will continue to happen. There's also a search where you can look for opportunities. And I'm not sure how you're entered into there, but I think LA 28 would be the organization would be what you would search for.
I think it is too. Yeah.
Okay. Answer live. I think that's it for the questions.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Caroline, David. Great to see you again.
You too. Thanks again for
Will we
inviting
see
me to
you
this.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow at the event. Yeah, the convention. I'll be there. I will be there.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Well, listen, we'll get back to you on that because he's not using ramp. So if it's a ramp issue, then we'll talk about it later, or we'll send you the link. It should be right on the landing page.
I can also share my screen. I have it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay with you, Melissa?
Sure. Yeah, it's right there. So those are the current opportunities. At one point there was one, sometimes there's none, sometimes there's 10. They all have different opening and closing dates. So what's there will change. So it's always good to take a gander at it every once in a while before you log in. Sometimes people have issues because they're kind of permanently logged in because they use ramp. So they may not see that landing page, but it might be worth your time to log out and log back in.
Can I ask a question before you leave off that? This is Libby. Sorry, I know I'm coming next.
Libby.
Hey,
Nice to
question
see
for
you.
you, David and Caroline. Are you including in those listings for those expressions of interest the NAIC codes that you're targeting? The reason why I ask is because we've been making a very big push to let small businesses know that if they already have their profile on Ramp, but they haven't listed their NAICs, they need to do that. We're also making it a required field from now on, so it's not even an option, because from my understanding is the only way that you will receive a notice about a new opportunity that is within your area of expertise is if you list that NAIC code, because that's how it'll identify you.
100%. It's a great ad. It's 100%. We are using that, and that's the only way a small business will be identified for an event matchup because of the next code that we put on there.
Right. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, now that Libby's already chatted, she is our next presenter. So I will go ahead and hand it over. Libby Williams.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you,
it
ma'am.
away.
Okay. I am going over to my screen 3, I believe. Okay. Can you guys see that? You can? Please tell me, Melissa. You can see my screen? Yes. Cool. Okay.
Sorry, I muted.
Good
Yes.
afternoon or good evening. Is it? Yep. 5:20. Good evening. Yes, we are on the cusp of our event tomorrow. So, yeah, I agreed to do this before I knew the date, but I'd still happy to be here. All the rest of the team at the convention center doing dry runs and getting everything together, but it's going to be great. So, once again, I get to see you all. I know I saw you, I think, on the first day here, and I think this is your last day. I'm Libby Williams. I am the Director of Small Business and Policy for the Mayor's Office of Business and Economic Development. And we are hosting the LA Sports Entertainment Procurement Summit tomorrow. You've already heard from 2 speakers. Well, actually, David won't be speaking. It'll be Isabel tomorrow on behalf of LA 28, but Simona will be there as well, representing all of the upcoming major events that she's helping to coordinate. But I just want to share with you a little bit about the event. Also, I understand some of you did not register, and that's okay. If you didn't register, we will have on-site registration. Just encourage you to get there early to make sure you get a seat, because we don't want the fire marshal shutting us down. I have already had to actually expand to do an overflow room upstairs so that we have more space available, because we are definitely anticipating 1,500 plus people tomorrow, and it's going to be a great day. So let me just go ahead and give you an overview of what to expect for the event. So moving forward, so this is a little overview from last year. This is our second year doing this. Last year we had it as well. We had, what was her name? Jessica Alba was the celebrity guest that the mayor had her fireside chat with, because she has her own business as an entrepreneur. But this year we are featuring our one and only Reynold Hoover, who is the CEO of LA 28, and we think it's only appropriate to do so. So they will have a conversation with Eric Smith, who is seen here, one of the vice chairman of BMO. And so this is basically the agenda. I'm going to run through all the rest of it as well. We're going to have 4 panel discussions on a variety of areas of all the different procurement of the upcoming events. Fireside chat I just spoke about. We've got exhibition hall with about 36 different exhibitors who are going to be there with information on some resources, opportunities for additional training, as well as those who provide financing. And our affinity groups, we've got both the Kings and the Galaxy are going to have an activation there. And I think at least 1 or 2 of the mascots are coming again this year. Square is also going to be there they've got like a little coffee bar, and they're going to be giving out free product. If you already registered, then you've got an email asking you to register for an appointment time to meet with a Square staff person so that you could get some of that. But I'm sure on site, if you work your magic and talk to them, there'll be a way to connect you as well. And then also Univision, who is one of our partners, is also going to have an activation there. So this is the full schedule. So 8:30 is when the doors are open. The program doesn't actually start until 9:45. So we got plenty of time for you to mix and mingle, see some of the exhibitors, network with your peers, because that's always something we stress a lot. Then we will start with our welcome, and then 10:15 is our first panel, which is all the different resources that we're going to be speaking about. And I think you guys heard from Procure LA at the last time. So Procure LA will be there. We've also got, actually, I've got slides. I'm going to show you those. The second panel is on the games. We've got the different event venues that are going to share information about how you can go about getting opportunities with them directly. Panel 3 is the one I am most encouraged and excited about, because that's the panel that Simona helped us procure, by the way, or curate, should I say. We have 3 excellent examples of small businesses local that were able to get contracts with Super Bowl and other major events, and they're going to be sharing peer-to-peer their experiences, highs, lows, ups and downs, all of that good information to share with you. The last panel is going to be our event organizers, so LA28. Simona will be back as well, and also we've got the head of procurement for NBA flying out from New York to talk about the upcoming NBA All-Stars, as well as just in general working with professional sports clubs. All right, and then we've got the fireside chat, which is last. And then, believe it or not, our panel 4 said, we know we're going to have more questions than our panel time will allow. So they have offered on their own to come back up to the stage at 2 o'clock once the mayor's fireside chat is over and continue a Q&A from the audience. So if you want to stick around longer, look for that. Look at that. We've got our own John Reamer right there, who is the moderator of panel 1. And this is the one where I spoke about getting all the different resources. So you've got Leah Chu, who is actually over the Office of Procurement. They're the ones who lead RAMP. They are responsible for RAMP. So she'll talk about that. We've got Ingrid Merriweather, who is one of our contractors. If you are familiar with their contractor bond assistant program that both the city and the county uses, we are expanding that to have a procurement, should I say, a contract financing program targeted on professional services. We already have one with the city and the county that targets construction, but now we're about to launch one. We actually have officially launched it, but she's going to speak about it more on tomorrow for professional services. We've got Daniel Hahn, who you probably met last week for Procure LA, and then last but not least, Dan Rodman from our Office of Major Events, who's going to talk about all of the upcoming events that are coming to the LA and how it doesn't end with LA 28. It's going to keep going because we are the capital. Panel 2 is our event venues. We have got Oswaldo Perez. I think I said that right. He is the news anchor for Univision, and he is going to host 4 of the Olympic game sites. And they actually, 2 of them also have FIFA World Cup activity, I believe, as well. Or am I wrong about that? Or is that just SoFi? I could be lying, so don't count on that. However, I'm not lying about this part. We're definitely going to have a rep from the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, Crypto.com Arena GM, Katie Pandolfo, who, might I add, is the first female head of the, I still call it Staples Center in my head. It's just the way I think about it. But Crypto.com Arena. We've got Christian Lau from the LA Football Club and also representing BMO Stadium. And then last but not least, David Anderson, who is the head of the Peacock Theater. So they will all be there to answer your questions. And remember that, you know, those locations will be here after the games and after all the events are gone. So the purpose and goal is to find out not just about opportunities with them for these events, but ongoing. What are the opportunities and how do they source small businesses? The third panel is the one I talked about. This is the one where you're going to learn lessons from your peers. So we've got two moderators, Mary Leslie from LA Business Council and our own from the City Economic and Workforce Development Department, Rosa Penalosa. And we've got three great examples of businesses. Luis Gonzalez, who is IT-based company, which is something I heard somebody ask a question about. Naomi Mendoza, who has got a catering company, and Julio Garcia, who has got an event planning firm. All three of them have either had contracts with the Super Bowl and continued them on since then. Interesting thing with the Super Bowl is since they got contracts in 2022, one of them have been invited to go back to all of the Super Bowls since then, even though it wasn't located here in LA. So think of those opportunities as well. And the last panel is panel 4 with all of our event organizers. So we've got Colleen Williams, our own NBC News anchor. It's going to be moderating this panel. We've got Isabel Guzman that David mentioned from LA 28. Simona, again, will join us. And then Greg Michelle, who is the VP of Procurement for NBA. And then, of course, the cherry on top is the fireside chat with Reynolds Hoover, CEO of LA 28, and Karen Bass, and moderated by our primary, or should I say, our presenting sponsor, BMO, with Eric Smith. Okay, some logistics so you know before you go, for those of you who do plan on attending, the parking garage that we have got discounted parking for you is the Venice parking garage. It's right off Venice and Figueroa, $5 all day. Otherwise, it'll be $27 if you go to any of the other lots. Now, mind you, they gave us that particular lot because it's furthest away. We know that. So wanted to let you know that so you've got some time to make that walk. It's not that far, but it literally is on the other block, is where we're going to be located over in the West Hall area in the Concourse Hall. If you want to park closer, you could by all means pay $27 and give it to the city because we need more money. We all know that. But so this is the route that you'll take. We will have volunteers or wayfinders, as we're calling them, along the way to direct you, as well as signage so that you don't get lost. And you'll see here is actually the layout of the event. So once you get over there, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go over to the registration table. The left side will be for those who have pre-registered. The right side will be for those who have on-site registration. And the signs, we have big signs out there, all clearly marked. In the front foyer area, you'll see in here, I think if you can see oh, you can see it. I like that. These are the activations. We've got the LA Kings here. We've got LA Galaxy here. Univision is here. And we've got Square in the middle with their little coffee bar stand here. All these tables around here, and in this room, this is the exhibit hall area where we've got our sponsors as well as our partners and other providers that are going to be there to share information and resources with you. Further down the hallway, as you're going into the main stage room, this is where all the speakers are going to be up here. We ask everyone, please do not rush the stage after the panel speaks, trying to get a hold of them and trying to see how you can get work with them. We're going to have stanchions, we're going to have security because we know that you're going to want to get to them, but we're going to follow up and give you email information on all of them, how to contact them. You'll actually have it on your agenda on the back side. There's going to be a QR code on how to get contact information, information that they have shared within their conversations, as well as speaker bios. Okay, so don't rush the stage. We do outside here also have more networking tables, and that's what these are all around. Networking tables for you to talk with your peers. We've got a coffee bar right here. You can buy coffee, and over here when we have our lunch break, 20-minute lunch break, you can go over here and you can buy lunch. You know it's expensive. I'm not even going to tell you that because you know it's a convention center. It's like going to the airport because they have a captive audience. So just be prepared. You can also bring your own water bottles because we're going to have water stations all around where you can refill your water if that so suits you. There we go. I got it out. All right. Last thing, just kind of go over some of the exhibitors that we've got so you can see who's going to be there. But we'll have, again, this entire list for you as well. This is just some of them because we've got many others that by the time we made this, we had many more and we didn't have all of their logos. So you'll have an opportunity to take to walk around to all of them as well. And again, just so our activations are there. So make sure that you patronize them or go see what they've got to offer. That's it for me. That's my thank you. So let me know if you've got some questions. I'm going to push the stop share button if I can find it. There it is. All right.
Thank you so much, Libby. I know
You're
what a
welcome.
struggle it has been to get here tonight. Our team, as we've been talking, we've been getting notifications for different things for tomorrow. So thank
Sure.
you so much for you and your team and for being here and everything. So I'm really excited about
Absolutely.
tomorrow. People have already asked if we're going to be there, and yes, we will.
Yep, seat
So
at a table.
we will be there. So questions. Do you have questions for Libby from the mayor's office about tomorrow, about the mayor's small business initiatives in general?
I know that we're working very closely with all these partners, with LA28, with David and his team, and Isabel and Caroline, with Simona, because our goal is to try to make this seamless for all of you so that you have all the information, all the resources that you need so that no one can come around from this and say, I didn't know, I didn't find any information, I didn't know where to go, or no one told me. That will not be the reason that you don't get engaged with this process. So,
I
but if
don't
you
have
need anything, go ahead.
Oh, I don't have any questions yet, but I do. Mario Fenix would like to say congratulations, Libby.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. This is, yeah, it's not over yet. Trust and believe. I actually even got a hotel across from the convention center because I don't want to have to even think in the morning because it's gonna be there early. Just looking forward to making this an outstanding event, and it's already looking like it is. It will be. It's not. It's a done deal. I just hope that as many people as possible can make it down with us, and we're gonna repeat it again next year as well. But you want to be there tomorrow if you at all can.
We do have one. Is there a fee for signing up on site tomorrow? I saw on the LA
Nope.
Convention Center site that it might cost something.
Nope, it is free of charge. Only thing that's going to cost you is parking $5 over there at the Venice lot, or if you want to splurge, $27 to get closer. That's it. Everything is free. Well, except for the food. But again, just think like you're at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Disneyland, but for small
Yes.
businesses.
There you go. That's it. That's
All
it.
right. And then another Desiree Alvarado says thank you. So far I don't have, I'll give you guys another couple of seconds here to ask any questions you may have, but I think you went through everything. So, oh, wait.
We got one.
To confirm, if not already registered, we can do on-site at 8:30 a.m. Also, since this will be available next year, should we wait for that one since it is closer to the events?
Nope. You need to hear stuff now. I think Simona would agree with me on that. You want to start making those relationships now because this is actually a time when you need to start doing that. Because I say all the time, every time that I speak, that your first contract will not be with LA28. It just will not, because they can't afford to take that risk on somebody who's an unknown and hasn't got the experience. You need to start looking to find opportunities now, whether they're small ones that you can actually show on your resume so that when you get to that point, when January 2027 rolls around, and that's when they're going to start putting out the bulk of their contracts, is 18 months out, that you're ready and prepared. So no, I absolutely think that you should attend if you can. We will still have the information from all of the speakers that we'll have available after the fact and online. We are not recording this event, so there will not be any recording of this for you to see offline, but we will have the information. But I still encourage you. And I see Simona came back on camera, so she could probably reiterate. Go ahead, Simona.
Yes, Libby, yes, yes. Do not wait. Now is the time to learn about all the resources, all the portals, especially with the events and the venues panels to figure out what they're looking for. So you find out now, and then you figure out from that juncture how to prepare. I'm going to talk a little bit about it tomorrow, but it's a journey, right? So it's a journey from your business and where you are currently to where you're trying to get an opportunity for with one of the high profile events. So it's never too early to start.
And as we've been saying this whole time, it's a journey. So you want to start now and continue to go, but it is a journey. So this, just because you go to the one tomorrow doesn't mean you shouldn't go to the one next week or next year, because as all of this develops, as we get closer to the actual dates of the events, a lot of this information will be fleshed out. It may change, things can happen. So you want to continue to go and continue to read and continue to research and go to these events, because we'll let you know what we know when we know it. But it's a moving target in a lot of ways, because it is kind of a little bit far out, but this is when you need to plan for it. So someone's asking for the link. We will be sending out links and slides and all those other things. So just check your email in the next day or two.
Yep, but always you can just show up tomorrow at the convention center. Registration will be open the entire day. So even if you don't get there at 8:30, it's okay. But yeah, we'll be there the whole day at registration for on-site for those of you still trying to make it in the door.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you so very much. It is
You're
5:37.
welcome.
We're going to take a 3-minute break. We usually take one towards the beginning, but we just powered through tonight because we wanted to make sure everybody was more or less running on time because I know you guys all are very busy. So so everybody feel free to just step away for 3 minutes. We'll be back at 5:40, get a drink of water, and then we'll close up for the night. All right, thank you so much.
Thanks. See y'all tomorrow.
Bye. Hello, it's 5:40, 5:41. I hope everybody got a chance to take a deep breath and get ready for the last little bit of the evening. So before we close out, I did have someone, May, let me look at the participants so I can find you here, who did not, for a technical reason, get to do their 15-second intro. So she has not had a chance to introduce herself. May, are you ready to do a 15-second elevator speech?
I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay, let me turn the timer on. It's very nice to meet you. All right, on your mark, get set, go.
I'm May Gates, Principal Consultant at MGA, a public affairs consultancy. We bridge the gap between local government and mission-driven organizations, helping communities thrive through meaningful engagement and strategic collaboration.
13.5 seconds. Very, very good. That was great. Who I am, where I work, what we do. That was fantastic. Only thing you could throw in there to me would be a contact of some kind, a website, an Instagram, a phone number. Usually people will have a card or something, but that's something to think about when if you have those things available to you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you so very, very much. Oh, all right. The next thing I wanted to do, because someone asked if we were going to be at the event tomorrow, I wanted to take an opportunity to introduce my team that has been working very quietly behind the scenes, taking roles, sending emails, sending constant contact blasts, running the slideshows. So can I please have Delana, Kathy Serrano, Hong To, and Jennifer Webster, and Hannah Ali, please turn on your cameras and say hi to everybody. Hong and Jay, are you still there? She might turn it on in a second. So these are the people that you will see tomorrow at the event. They will be manning our table. Hannah will be there all day. Delana will be there in the morning. Hong, Jay, and I will be there in the afternoon. And Kathy will be there for the majority of the day, and she is our resident Spanish speaker. So if you or any of your related businesses have anybody who would like the information in Spanish, Kathy will be the one to talk to at the table. So we all look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. You can go back and hide now. So before we close it up and hand it off to our closing remarks person, thanks. Oh, you're very welcome, Dana. It's been our pleasure. The next speaker is our last speaker of this 4-class session, and that is our illustrious leader, Mr. John Reamer, who will also be there tomorrow. So Mr. Reamer, please take it away.
Well, thank you, Melissa. And what can I say? I think it's been, not I think I know, it's been a fabulous 4 nights. I'm trusting and believing you all feel the same way. To Simona and to David and to Libby, thank you very much for closing out for us this evening. To Team BCA, I don't have enough words to let you know how much I appreciate all that you have done. And to each and every one of you, I want to know and believe that this did what we thought and hoped it would. A couple of things for you. And as I listened to the nights and I heard your comments, and by the way, for the 15 seconds, fantastic. All of you, very impressed and can't wait to meet you in person. And with that said, tomorrow, for those of you who will be there, and I'm hoping all of you will be there, come up and say, how you doing? I just finished the Small Business Academy, and let me put a name to the face. And I so will greatly appreciate that. Some things for you to think about. First of all, don't eliminate yourself by saying no to yourself. I heard a question or two about, I don't know where I fit in here. Don't eliminate yourself. Please don't eliminate yourself. Enough people will eliminate you, so don't help them. Don't eliminate yourself. Don't hinder yourself by waiting for the perfect time. Don't do that at all. This is not double Dutch. There is no perfect time. Do not wait. Case in point, the alarm went off at 4 o'clock this morning, and I looked at it, and I guess it looked back at me, and the question was, am I going to get up? For me, that's a challenge, but I did get up. And then the second question was, okay, now am I going to get dressed and go out into the garage? What's waiting for me in the garage? Pain. No, not really. My exercise bike. I don't always feel like doing it. And as a matter of fact, when I do it, I don't always perform the way I would like to. But when I'm done, I've accomplished something. So I ask you this question. Why did the turtle win the race? Not a trick question. Why did the turtle win the race? Many would say the turtle was not the fastest. Absolutely, the turtle was not. But the turtle won the race. And there are a number of answers you could give, a number of answers. I would argue that the turtle was committed. I would argue that the turtle was focused. I would argue that the turtle did not stop. The turtle did not quit. The turtle did not let the opposition intimidate the turtle. There are a number of things that we can add. But one thing is for certain, and this is the first word I shared with you. Do you remember what that word was? The turtle was in shape. And I'm hoping over these past 4 nights, We've helped you get in shape, and we're not done. And when I say we, it's because, as you heard from all of the presenters over the 4 nights, and especially tonight, we want LA to shine. We do. It's one of the mayor's priorities for the upcoming budget. She wants LA to shine. And as we talked about shape, you heard so many of the elements of shape tonight. I just was grinning from ear to ear, because we have not had any conversation. I had not spoken with the speakers, but yet they laid out for you what that word for me, what it represents, the notion of studying. And we attempted to give you some exercises to get those creative juices flowing with respect to homework, exercising that notion of I need to look into so I can find out what is expected, and it's expected from whom and from where. Home base. What word did you hear over and over and over again, and then over and over and over again, and then over and over and over again? Capacity. Absolutely you did. I heard Simona talk about your website and what is it going to reflect. This is your home base. This is your foundation. And you want to make sure that it's solid, it's tight. Your attitude. Are you tired now? Is it 4 a.m. and you don't want to get up and go to the bike in the garage? Or are you fired up? Or are you going to say, whether I'm fired up or not, I'm going anyway because I know this is what I need to do because this is my business. Share a little story with you real quick. Tom Brady, some of you probably know who he is. He was not the first round, not the second round, not the third round, not the fourth round, not the fifth round. He was a 6th round draft pick, but he has 7 Super Bowl rings. It's all about your attitude. The P is your plan. How are you making yourself better, bigger, innovative? How are you doing that? I'm imagining you heard this word joint venture. I encourage you to look into that. Those who are part of this group, this cohort, there's nothing saying you can't partner. There's nothing saying 2 or 3 or 4 of you can't get together and present a package. There's no one stopping you from doing that. How can I make myself look bigger than I really am? If you have 2 and you have 5 others that have 2, now what do you have? You have 12. So there's ways that you can do it, but it's a plan. And then the last is the E, the environment. We're believing that this helped contribute to the environment, but I would submit to you, it's not just what's served at the table, it's what you bring to the table. So let the environment not only be something that you find yourself in the midst of, but that you're contributing to. So for all of you that can, please be there tomorrow. I so agree with Simona. I so agree with Libby. You don't need to, and you can't afford to wait because you have no idea who you might meet tomorrow. You have no idea. But I guarantee you this, you won't meet them if you don't show up. That's for certain. So I encourage you, don't get in shape. As you get my age, you have to stay in shape. What does Simona say? You want to be ready, not get ready, but you want to be ready. And so I encourage each and every one of you, as I applaud you. For those of you who are day one and you're here right now listening to me, mine was one of the first voices you heard and one of the last voices you hear in this cohort. I congratulate you because you hung in there. You did not stop. You did not quit. And you're very busy. I know you are, but it's worth it. You are worth it. And I can't wait to see what you're going to do for LA. Blessings to each and every one of you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Congratulations for making it through this first leg of what's going to be a very long, but I'm arguing prosperous journey that we will all benefit from. Back to you, Melissa.
Thank you, Mr. Reamer. You've gotten a lot of clapping and hearts and things going on in the emoji section over there. Someone said, Phoenix Mario said, amen. Dana C. Arnett said, as always, thank you, Mr. Reamer. See you tomorrow. And C. Scott said, continuing firmly or obstinately in a course of action in spite of difficulty. So I will go ahead and put these away. Just a little housekeeping. We will be sending out an email. Obviously we're busy tomorrow, but we will be sending out an email. It will have the slides. It will have the flyer from LA28 about the food and beverage program that they have. It will also have a survey. We would very much appreciate it if you complete the survey. It really helps us know what we did right, what we did wrong, where we can improve. So we really would appreciate it if you would respond to that. It won't be long, I promise. And I think that's pretty much it. Unless anybody has any questions, any comments, anything further they would like to add. If so, please raise your hand. We can go a little bit early this evening. Let me see. Do we have anybody raising their hand? We do. All right. See, Scott, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was raising my hand.
Oh, that's okay. We'll go ahead. We have another person, Desiree Alvarado. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. I want to say that thank you so much for this program. I really, really learned a lot. And I'm so excited. And I just believe in those words that he just said, because I feel that, I've been working so hard to get ready, and I am a small business, and I want it so bad that I will work as hard as I can to get a piece of the pie. Thank you so much for everything.
That's great. Thank you so much, Desiree. I see a lot of people here are looking to connect. One of the questions we are going to ask is if you want us to share your information. And if not, we'll send the list out with that same, or after we get the survey responses. So Teodoro.
Yes, hello. Again, to echo the words, thank you. This was a wonderful experience. Last night I was exhausted. I thought, my gosh, will I make it one more night? And I'm here, and it's been so worth it. Thank your team. Thank you again. And my question is, I just got a text from one of my colleagues, and he wants to go tomorrow. So if he didn't register, can he still register online tonight, or he has to go in person tomorrow?
No, the registration was closed a day or so ago.
Okay.
So because it hit capacity, but there's always a lot of people who register for things and don't go. The PPE, that's an ongoing issue. So they are, like Libby said, they do have on-site registration, but you do have to go. I think it will depend on how many people are showing up and what their capacity is.
Great, thank you.
So probably earlier is better, is my guess, but I don't think it's necessary to be there at 8 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Just lots of thanks. You're very welcome. Wonderful program. Okay, it'll be in the survey. We will get it out in the next day or two. It is just about 6 p.m., so it's a little earlier than all the others because it has been a long 4 days. But we will go ahead and wrap up 2025 Small Business Academy. Thank you so much for being here, and come say hi tomorrow. My team would like to wave you off. If you want to turn your cameras on, everybody go ahead and do so. So thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Come say hi.
Thank you so much. I will. Thank you.